Christian Coleman stepped up to the microphone and said something that made the entire track and field world stop. His girlfriend, Sha'Carri Richardson, had just finished telling reporters that the Stawell Gift would be glorified practice. But Coleman's response contradicted everything she just said and revealed something about their relationship that nobody expected. Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman aren't just dating. They're the most powerful sprinting duo on the planet. She's the reigning world champion and fifth fastest woman in history. He's the former world champion and the fastest man ever over 60 meters. Together, they've redefined what it means to be elite athletes in a relationship. But when they sat down for interviews before the historic Stawell Gift in Australia, something unexpected happened. Their responses revealed a fundamental difference in how they approach competition that stunned fans and experts alike. The contrast wasn't just surprising, it was psychology in action. The Stawell Gift is unlike anything these American superstars have ever experienced. It's a 120-meter race on grass, uphill between ropes in a small Australian farming town. Both athletes start from scratch, meaning zero handicap advantage, chasing runners who get head starts of up to 10 meters. Richardson's response to this unique challenge was pure fire. When asked about the handicap format where she'd be chasing other runners, she didn't hesitate. She told the media she'd been known to be a chaser in races before, and that the challenge of the stagger would make her more technical and sound. Her confidence was absolute. But then came the comment that made headlines worldwide. Richardson called the entire Stawell Gift a glorified practice session. She laughed when her agent first proposed the idea, thinking it was a joke. Even after understanding the quality of competition, she held her ground, saying she still considered it practice and that she would win. The track and field world was already buzzing about Richardson's bold declaration when Coleman stepped up to the microphone. What he said next left fans completely stunned because it revealed something nobody expected about their relationship dynamic. Coleman's approach was the complete opposite of his girlfriend's aggressive confidence. He described himself as usually leading from the front, with people trying to catch him. He explained that he felt the Stawell format would be perfect for working on things he'd been practicing, emphasizing the developmental aspect over the competitive element. Where Richardson saw conquest, Coleman saw growth. Where she projected dominance, he projected learning. The contrast was so stark that athletics commentators immediately began analyzing what this meant for their relationship and their individual mental approaches to competition. The psychology behind their different responses reveals something fascinating about elite athletes. Richardson's mindset represents what sports psychologists call outcome orientation. She visualizes winning, projects confidence, and uses bold statements to create psychological pressure on opponents while reinforcing her own belief system. Coleman's approach demonstrates process orientation. He focuses on technique development, skill refinement, and using competition as a training tool rather than a platform for dominance displays. Both approaches have produced world championship results, but seeing them side by side in the same relationship was unprecedented. Former Australian sprinter and Stawell Gift winner Jason Richardson, who moderated their interviews, pressed Richardson to see if she would adjust her expectations once she understood the quality of competition. Her response stunned him even more. She doubled down, insisting it would still be glorified practice and that she would put the glorified in front of it. Coleman's reaction to watching his girlfriend make these bold claims was telling. Rather than matching her energy or trying to one-up her declarations, he remained focused on his own process. He spoke about experiencing Australia for the first time, crossing off his sixth continent, and being excited about new experiences in his career. The difference extends to how they view the unique challenge of grass racing. Richardson embraced the nostalgic element, saying it reminded her of being a child running in fields with her grandmother in the country. She talked about feeling skin on grass and her inner child racer coming out. Coleman was more analytical about the surface change. He acknowledged it would be different from their usual synthetic track training, but focused on the technical adaptations they would need to make.
Lyles in his wake. Does Lyles have some back-end speed?
His excitement was measured and thoughtful rather than emotional and instinctive. What makes this contrast even more remarkable is their proven ability to support each other's careers. They've both spoken publicly about how their relationship enhances rather than complicates their athletic performance. Yet, their Stawell interviews showed that support doesn't mean identical mindsets. Sports relationship experts point out that this difference might actually be their secret weapon. Having complementary psychological approaches means they can offer each other different perspectives on competition and pressure. Richardson's confidence can fuel Coleman's quiet determination.
Understand how an athlete operates and then ask your questions.
While his process focus can ground her outcome orientation. The Australian media picked up on this dynamic immediately. Headlines focused on Richardson's practice comment, but track insiders were equally fascinated by Coleman's measured response. Some interpreted it as strategic humility, others as genuine process focus. Reigning women's gift champion Brie Rizzo, who will be commentating the race, said the American duo would need to adapt quickly to the vastly different racing environment. She noted that both athletes are phenomenal and experienced, but emphasized that this would be completely new territory for them. Current defending champion John Evans expressed surreal excitement about potentially racing against one of the fastest men in the world. He mentioned Coleman's recent sub-10-second hundreds as evidence that the American could push for a final despite the unfamiliar format. The contrast between Richardson and Coleman's public personas extends beyond just confidence levels. It reveals two completely different ways that elite athletes can mentally prepare for competition while maintaining peak performance standards. Richardson's approach creates external pressure that she then channels into motivation. By publicly declaring her expectations, she transforms media attention and fan expectations into fuel for her performance. This technique has served her well in major championships where pressure situations are normal. Coleman's method focuses on internal preparation and skill development. By framing competition as practice and growth opportunities, he reduces external pressure while maintaining technical focus. This approach has helped him excel in indoor championships, where precise execution matters more than crowd energy. What stunned fans most wasn't just the difference in their approaches, but how comfortable they both seemed with that difference. There was no tension, no attempt to match each other's energy, no signs that either felt their partner's approach was wrong. The Stawell Gift represents more than just a unique race for these two champions. It's become a public display of how elite athletes and relationships can maintain individual identity while supporting shared goals. Their contrasting responses showed the track and field world that there's no single path to greatness. Whether Richardson's confidence or Coleman's process focus proves more effective on the grass track in Stawell remains to be seen. But their pre-race comments have already provided invaluable insight into the psychology of elite performance and the dynamics of athletic power couples. If you want to see more analysis of elite athletic mindsets and what drives world champions, check out our breakdown of how mental preparation differs between sprinters and distance runners.